Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parco here with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. Bobby, thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Ed.
It's been 2 weeks, man. It's been a while.
I know. It's been a minute.
Yeah, and I was slammed the last 2 weeks of December. I was happy for that, but it's like you're supposed to be taking vacation. No, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it never works that way, man.
I prefer it the way I had it.
Yeah.
So, because then it makes your beginning of the year great instead of I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've learned in this industry, man, you take vacation when all of a sudden you look around, you go, oh, I don't have anything going on at this moment. Let's go take a couple days, right?
Right. And then they go, hey, can you write an offer on this?
Yeah.
I saw one yesterday. Somebody was like, when a realtor goes on vacation.
That's the best way to get jobs, right?
Right. So you're supposed to book this like every other week. That's like we do every other weekend, usually to the cabin. And when I do that, we get busy.
Yeah.
So I need to go out of town next.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's just, and the way that we're set up now, everything's so virtual. So it doesn't matter where I'm sitting anymore to do what I want to do. But be careful out there. There are some companies, and I'm going to warn people, online down in Southern California might not be the best place to get your loan from. I had a guy reach out to me last week on Monday and like, I need help. And so I went through the whole scenario with him. Basically, he was doing a down payment assistant program, and it was one of those Chinoa or whatever programs. And it's a down payment assistant program. Problem is, in order to fund those things, you got to do borrower paid for. So you know how you guys have to do for real estate potentially for buyers now, that the buyers might have to come up with the commission.
Yeah.
Well, that's how that is on the Chinoas and down payment assistant programs. Somebody's got to pay the lender side.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's very costly. A lot of these things makes no sense at all to do it, because your payment is $300 more a month. Your debt to income ratio is so high. You have to run the numbers. You have to have enough money from the seller to make these things work right. And he's been in contract since beginning of November, was supposed to close before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Now is in first week of January. Still hasn't been done. He reached out to me. I was like, this doesn't even sound. I said, I can help you. So I told him everything I need to do. And I'm looking at, he took like 20 grand out of his 401k to pay off debt. And I'm like, why are you even doing the down payment assistant program if you have that money already?
Yeah.
We could do it all without that and still pay down your debt.
And would have gotten you closed back in.
Well, not only that, we could get you closed in 9 days. But the issue is the fact that the cost and what your payment's going to be is going to be like $250 cheaper a month on top of everything else. They're giving a down payment assistant for $3.5 for his down payment, right? But he doesn't need it if he's got that amount of money, because he's only buying a $275,000 house.
Gotcha.
3.5% is only like 13. He's getting something for more than that for closing costs and other stuff. And it's just the way they have it set up is horrible. They can't figure it out. Oh, and then I go, hey, I didn't see your application. He goes, oh, I told them I was going somewhere else, and they said they'll try to waive the last 2 conditions. And then I talked to him one more time just to be nice. And he's like, yeah, they said something about my HOA is not approved. I said, there's no issue with your HOA being approved. I guarantee you it's your complex is not approved with FHA.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if they're just figuring that out, they haven't ordered the case number.
Jeez Louise.
That means they haven't even ordered the appraisal. We're almost 3 months into this deal.
I'm surprised the seller hasn't just backed out.
Well, I looked, it's not even on the market.
Oh, off market deal, huh? Like
so maybe I don't know. So maybe there is agents, so maybe that's just why it's that way. They've worked it out, but it's like, come on, this could be done so fast. Just give me a chance.
Yeah.
And so I just told him, I saw you didn't do this, I hope it works out for you. If not, I'm here for you. I'm not going to keep calling you and hounding you, because that's, I don't want to irritate you. But I told him, I said, what you should do is start this with me. We won't do a hard pull, so it's not going to mess up that. So if they get it done in the next week, it's no harm, no foul. But if they don't, you're not a week further on from starting it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I thought I had them, but I guarantee they told him, don't do it, because if you do, I'll mess everything up. No, you messed up everything. Did I get on my soapbox? So be careful going out of your area. Go with somebody local is all I want to say.
Go local. And then it really, I don't know. I suggest staying away from down payment assistance.
Oh, totally.
And I mean, especially like as a listing agent, you see a down payment assistance and you see someone that writes at 20%, it's a no-brainer, right? So you're going to have a heck of a time getting into contract. Actually, a client of ours, I was talking to him on Saturday, and he mentioned down payment assistance programs, and I was like, "You don't need to." I was like, "You got VA.
Yeah,
You don't need to do something like that. It would never benefit you."
it could benefit him, but he already has a house.
Yeah.
Those are based off of usually 65 grand a year max. Cal Half is 110, but that is the worst program out there you could ever do. I don't care what these people say.
So now, since this is the Veterans Edition, can you explain a scenario in which a down payment assistance would help someone with a VA loan?
Yeah, because what it would do is if you don't have a disability, you have to pay your funding fee, right? If you put money down, you have less of a funding fee needed. So if say your funding fee first time use was $215, I don't know if it's $230 or $215, it's right around there. It would drop it down to like $110 depending on how much you put down.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if you put 10% down or greater, you have less funding fee you have to pay. So or the other issue is say that you are keeping your house, which in a different state, let's say, and everything works out perfectly, and your eligibility, you need to put down 25% of the difference of your eligibility to buy this house. Say that you're short $100,000, right? Of your eligibility. So you have to put down a quarter of that. So 25,000. That would help offset that number is what down payment assistance program. But you're never going to find one because you already have a house. You're probably making way more than 66,000 or 70,000 or 80,000. That is the minimum. The maximum, I should say, for income,
especially if you're qualifying for a house around here, right?
Right. Yeah. Yesterday, it blends together once we're back. We haven't been here for so long. Now we're back. It's just blending together. Median price for our area is $5 something. 40, 570 or something like that. Median home price in our area. Yes, there's no limit on VA, but once you use your eligibility, how much is left? You have to do all the calculation. Say you don't have that. Say you don't have 600,000. You only have 400,000. You want to buy a $500,000 house. You'll have to put down 25% of the difference.
Yeah.
That's that. So yes, you can use it and it works well, but you just have to run the numbers. So,
gotcha.
Does down payment work for vets? Yes and no. You don't need it. What if you don't have closing costs and can't get it from the seller? You could use a down payment for closing costs.
Oh, okay.
So there's ways. Do you want to do it? No. It's already bad enough people don't understand the VA loan to begin with, that there's huge benefits, better than any of the other loan, because qualification wise, there's no reason you shouldn't get that loan. There is no DTI, no debt to income ratio. It's based off of what's left over money, not what your debt to income ratio is.
Yeah.
People go, huh? I've had a 63. I had somebody with a 73 debt to income ratio.
Really?
Yes. It's all about what's left over and reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, don't worry about it. But again, stay local. Period.
Yeah. Now that kind of ties back into this mutual client of ours, right? So for anybody who's listening, 6 months ago, we had to talk about paying down debt
and what he needed to do.
Yeah. And we had a conversation the other day and nothing has been done. So a house that he was really interested in came up on the market, but just not ready to pull the trigger because all the work hasn't been done in the last 6 months.
Right. Well, he needed to do one of two things. Three things, actually. His wife get a real job, which is not going to happen because she likes what she does and she likes her tips. 2, he needs to get a different job to make more money per hour. He didn't do that, right? Because it just hasn't happened.
Correct.
There's jobs out there that he could go get, but again, you got to change or pay down a lot of debt. And those 3 things haven't happened at all.
Yeah.
And, to have somebody co-sign for them, that's a big ask again. So, he has a house now. If he sells a house, he'll have equity to put down on the next house, but he's going to need all that equity to pay off all his debt, and it's still going to be close.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying, rates coming down help. So it's not bad to look at the numbers again. But, if we're trying to help you and we're putting you on a plan, you should do the plan we ask.
Correct. Yeah. If you're serious about buying another home,
right. Not being a looky-loo.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's people like to dream. They don't want to, and they never really want to, act on that dream. Yeah. And plus his payment's so low right now.
That's what's hard for a lot of folks,
It's so low. Why would you want to I mean, it's ridiculously low. It would double or almost triple.
Yeah, unless it's like your dream forever home, right? I mean, why would you want to go through that and adjust your? Well, let's put it this way: if you have debt to pay off right now, and you haven't been able to adjust your lifestyle, it's not going to get any better going into a more expensive house.
No, and the payment increasing just because you want to go in a neighborhood a little bit, and it's not like his house is worth a lot, and and the house he's buying is worth a little bit more, but you're going to double your payment by buying it. That's not going to happen. Not until rates improve more, and we're not going to see them, get much. We'll probably see lower sixes throughout the year.
Yeah,
but we're not going to see a 3 or 4% interest rate over the next probably 5 to 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
We need another major issue like recession. Well, that's not happening right now.
Well, I mean, World War III is around the corner. So
yeah, it's already here.
I
think the biggest war is going to be the next election.
Gosh. Yeah. I know this year's only started, and I feel like we've been in an election cycle for over 3 years now.
Yeah. I don't want to get on the whole January 6th bullshit, but there's been like 12 other times that the Capitol been really like destroyed and burnt down, and people walked into Congress with a bomb. Other congressmen held the Congress at gunpoint while his buddy beat up a Republican in front of everybody. There's so much that's happened worse than the walking around at the beginning, but let me move on.
Yeah. What's scary is
the narrative and how they could play with all that stuff.
Play with it and keep these people in prison for 3 years. I think that right there is such a mafioso like technique that so many people will never even go near the Capitol again to protest.
Well, it's just the problem is, that's what they wanted to prove.
I know.
Yeah. Only we can control the narrative, and only we can do this. And now we're getting all political.
Yeah. Banana Republic.
Yeah. We need to make some major changes so that people care about this country, because the problem's going to be, this is like 1970s in the early 80s where people are really upset. And I don't think people realize how upset people are because they're not saying anything. And if the election is stolen, truly stolen this time, like, we won't get into, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I don't want to be around for.
No, just let it really happen. They better just let it happen. Right. Because I mean, just yesterday or this last week, there was some military guy that oversees the whole military. He's having surgery. And the second person he put in charge was on vacation when all this military stuff happened. And it's like, who's running this whole stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. I don't know. But, luckily, immigrants have healthcare today in California.
Congratulations.
Yeah. That way the ERs won't be overrun. Bullshit. The ERs are still going to be overrun because they're still going to go in there with the Medi-Cal or Medicare or whatever it is.
Yeah. It just means that anyone who's paying for insurance like us is going to be paying that much more.
Right. What about all the veterans? They should get it for free, shouldn't we?
No, I would think so, right?
But do we? No. But Medicare. But if you're illegal, you can.
Why do you think there's been a record number was like 3 million border crossings just this year?
It's ridiculous.
And that's like documented. That's not the ones that snuck past like surveillance and stuff.
Well, there's as many, if you put them all together, it's the 7th largest state. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But let's move on, shall we?
Okay.
I'm just bitter because they don't take care of veterans who fought for this country like they take care of migrants.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on. What else you got to talk about? Or do you want to just leave it there?
Yeah.
On a somber note.
Oh, yeah. I say, hey, hoorah.
All right. Well, you know what? Don't worry about all the stuff we talked about. Focus on, if you're ready to buy, now is the time. Don't wait, because this tsunami of people are coming, and it's going to get here before you know it. I'd say by March, we're going to see a ton of people, but not a lot of homes still.
Yep. Which means multiple offers and competing again.
Yeah. Over asking, 20 grand higher, no money for closing costs, none of that stuff, but you can still get that now. So don't wait. This isn't like last year when we were telling you to do it because you didn't do it, but you really need to do it now.
Yeah. We're definitely at the tail end. I can feel it in the market.
Yeah. It's already, I can see the difference. Yeah. All right. Make it a great day, and thanks for being here.